Welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans.
It doesn't look like I have
Lizz.
anything on, for God's sake.
I mean, okay, that's one way to open the show.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I do. And I'm Carolyn.
So you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
And I'm cpredmor on Ravelry, and on Instagram I'm posting as Knitting in Our Jeans. And I did post this past week because I was posting the sweater I finished.
Yeah?
In progress. I was ticked off because I was
Winding
up my last skein, and I had this much. Where are the rest of them?
I don't know.
I had 6. I mean, there were some pieces that were like this. I ended up with 3 of the tiny pieces and 3 balls about twice this size because I had used part of this. It was such a raggedy skein where you just be winding along and all of a sudden it's broken.
It's gone.
It's gone. And you got to start again. And
could just be weak spots in the fibers.
I don't know. To have both of them, I know I can understand with one of them to go, but with both of them going, I'm not sure. And this is art yarn, and it's really expensive yarn. I think, as almost everybody knows if you've ever priced it. And it fuzzes like crazy. We've got little tiny spoofs of art yarn all over the living room. Yeah, and with the length of our hair, the pieces that come out, it then captures the art yarn. We look like we're growing little
pockets of fuzzies
all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I have art yarn to make a skirt, and it's going to be a long time between now and when I make that skirt.
I was going to say, it's going to be another year?
Oh, at least. And I've not started the skirt, so that doesn't count as a whip. And I have to say that underneath here is
clearing up.
Because I've started the blanket that was in that big bag. Yeah.
So now that's downstairs on the couch.
Yes. I'm going to start off.
All right, go for it.
I
mean, we have our regular, 1-minute update, but
Go
that
ahead.
ends up not being a 1-minute update because it has now become all of our lives.
That's right. Oh, so you want to do that first?
I was just going to say coronavirus is still out there.
It's still a thing.
Please be careful, everyone. I am still not going into work. And you're still chilling here.
I'm chilling here. I finished my class, except for I have one student who is still trying to finish the class. She has until June 22nd to finish the class.
But
the poor child is pregnant. Yeah. And she's not a child. She's a married woman, and she's in her first trimester, and she's getting kicked by this baby. She's sick. For some of us, the feeling. So she's found it very difficult to concentrate, to write the final paper. And dear Lord, I understand. So
she's got about 7 weeks, it sounds like.
Yeah. And in that time, hopefully by taking her time, she'll be able to finish the class. And if not, we'll figure something out, because pregnancy should not be a barrier to finishing the class. So we'll figure that out. And other than that, I had a birthday this week.
You did?
Yes, I did. So I've been ordering online. I've got a new shirt.
You've got a whole bunch of stuff that's going to come in the next few weeks.
I've got a pair of new black jeans. I've got a pair of fancy jeans. I can't say when the last time was I had a pair of fancy jeans. Because normally I buy them at discount and someone's deep sale or something like that. So a pair of fancy jeans. I got a pair of nice black pants that were on sale. So that was the expensive stuff. And then my husband forgot my birthday.
So I came home early so that I would be with Mom essentially her entire birthday. Also because I had offered to make her dinner. Paella, which we both really enjoy. Dad likes it. Not as much, I think, as we do. So I had offered...
We had seconds.
We did have seconds. I had offered that if she made sure that she essentially had what, I said we needed, that I would make paella for her.
So I ordered it.
So we
There's
did.
an online meat butcher, obviously butcher.
Which I think we talked about last week.
D'Artagnan, who I had ordered lamb from to make a
Easter.
Mary Berry lamb
At Easter.
and had done very well. I had no problem.
So we got chorizo, and then we had some shrimps, some packaged shrimp, and then we had the peas that were in it, and the tomatoes,
The
and
rice,
it was great.
and it was
we
really
had
good.
everything. So I remember.
Yes.
I did good. I was a
You
good
did.
kid. I also made mommy cupcakes.
Yes. So he has also managed to break my 8-inch chef's knife. Apparently in his family, when you couldn't find a screwdriver, you would reach into the knife drawer, pull out a knife, and use the knife to screw something or to pry something. That's how he broke it.
If you use the butt end of it to open a can sometimes.
This is a screw, sweetheart. He's trying to screw something. So anyway, he broke off the first 1/2 inch of my chef's knife. So I have ordered a new one from a company where they're apparently handmade. I heard about them on NPR, National Public Radio, and the reviews online are very good. So we'll see. And then I have a utility knife in the kitchen from Cutco that I've had for dog's years.
Before we were in the old house.
Well, yeah, across the street, Adrian sold it to me.
And she's been in California for like 20 years,
Well,
I think.
this when she was a senior in high school. So
Yeah.
it's been years. And I really like it, so I bought myself another one. Then I think we talked about last week that Gap had a sale going on, so the Gap clothes have not arrived. I noticed the other night I was wandering around the house and in my slippers, not barefoot, and I noticed something kept poking me, and I realized that my slipper had bit the dust. And yes, I can't even tell you how old the slippers are, but they were LL
Probably
Bean.
2 years at least.
Oh, maybe 10. Yeah.
I feel like you got some, like, maybe it was like 5.
I think they're 10. Oh, and by the way, I've decided my new name is Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus.
I love it. It looks really cute, Mom.
You know?
It's going to grow out. You're going to go see her bit, and everybody's going to just chop off all the rest of the blonde, and it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be Miss Frizzle, but I'm okay with that because she's a pretty smart woman.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, so when I put my bun in, I look like a two-tone Chevy. So you can see that this is hysterical.
See, whereas I put in I used an overtone
Today.
leftover that I had today,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look as two-tone. It's
No.
still drying. I tend not to
You gotta
use
admit,
that.
that's...
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're doing okay.
But yeah, so we're doing good. We hope everyone out there is doing well.
I don't think I had finished talking about my slippers.
Oh, you slippers, sorry.
Yeah, really. So I
Got
ordered
distracted.
new slippers from LL Bean, and they arrived. So
You were very excited
That's
about them
good.
today.
Earrings. I had managed to lose the back off of my
Like
earrings, and so I was using some of those plastic backs, and they kept going closer and closer and closer. It was squeezing my ear, and then my ear would get upset. So now I got these that have
You
screw
did.
backs.
Oh.
And so I have those. So I now have earrings that are not going to make my ears upset. And so Gap is still left to arrive. The knives will be arriving.
I got my fabric downstairs.
And I have held myself back from ordering scissors from Pearl Soho.
Fabric shears.
Yes, only because they seem to be twice as expensive as any other scissors coming from Sheffield, England, unless you're talking about the ones that are handmade. And I don't know, I think I'd want to pick up the shears and feel them and see how good they are.
Unless they're, say, from Ginger or Merchant and Mills. You know, places that you know the quality already.
Well, I own Ginger shears, and I'm very happy with them. But I generally want shears all around the house. And I had been using my grandmother's bandage scissors to have by the sewing machine because they were great, and they were snub-nosed, so you couldn't hurt yourself. But they have finally given up the ghost. Yeah, so they need to be replaced. And then I had some cheap whiskers, and I used those to cut out Oh, the face masks that I made.
Yeah.
And then their shot, they lost their edge really quickly.
All right.
And they don't open anymore. They're spring-loaded scissors, and they don't open anymore. So they're opening them to be able to cut, to shove them shut
I feel like we realized that happened a while ago.
So they're going.
But yeah.
So then, and one of my scissors, it does catch.
The one I have. The one that I'm borrowing. The Ginger
And then
I'm
we
borrowing.
had... So we looked at Ginger, and Ginger has a facility in North Carolina that you can mail the scissors to, and they will sharpen them. And I think that's what we're going to be doing
once I get over my sewing
binge. That's right. Although I have to say, the ones at Pearl Soho are rose gold.
They are. They're very pretty.
Which is a favorite color of mine. So I may end up doing that yet. But the one handmade knife is because, I have been waiting on that man hand and foot, and he forgot my birthday.
Oh, because my father declared
on
Monday that he felt like crap and had a fever. So he got relegated to the bedroom.
At breakfast, he was okay. At lunch, then he decided he didn't feel well. And by lunchtime, he said he had a fever, felt like crap. And I said, well, maybe you should just go to bed. I found the thermometer for him. He had, a temperature. He had a temperature of something. He didn't
say
relay
because all
it to
you
me.
said was he says he's running a fever.
Yes. And so he stayed in bed, didn't eat much in terms of dinner. But by the next day, felt pretty good. But I said, no. You take to your bed. You tell me you feel like crap. You're in that bedroom for a while until we see exactly what happens here. So by Friday, he called the GP, and our doctor said, you get to stay in quarantine until Monday. So he's been in quarantine for a week, or will have been in quarantine for a week. So that means that I've been watching any show I want to on television. I've been making whatever I want to for dinner.
It's been lovely.
It's been knowing that he felt fine and has continued to feel fine.
Yes.
It became a game.
Yes.
If he had been seriously ill, it would
not have been
something entirely different. And then he's managed to find the television on his iPad, so he's been semi-amused. I found out that he eats every 2 hours.
I came home, and oh my god, so I came over, I got home at I got here, 9:30, 10-ish? And all of a sudden, at 10:15, my mother jumps up and goes, Father needs a snack. And I was like, what? And she goes, it's snack time. And then at 11:30, it's bagel time. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? What is this? And she informed me that my father
apparently eats every 2 hours.
Yeah, or so.
Yeah. And it's like, he has a hard-boiled egg, then there's yogurt, then there's crackers and hummus, and in between the regular meals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yet he teased me when we decided today to break open the rosé cava I had gotten you a few weeks ago.
It's been
after
entertaining.
Lunch. And then I made dinner, and he I don't know how he felt about it. He says it was good. I hope he enjoyed it. There's a lot of leftovers.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it a great deal.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
So the other thing that happened this week, my parents had owned a house down in Avalon, New Jersey.
Oh, yes.
And for those of you who know anything about the East Coast, Avalon is on a barrier island that it shares with Stone Harbor. And I got a package in the mail from someone I knew when I was a teenager. So, Robin, this is to say thank you very much. And she sent us 2 pattern books. Do you see all these things? Yes, we've been through them, and we have found patterns that we really like. So thank you very much, Robin. That was really very sweet. And I called her on the phone. She sent me her phone number. I called her on the phone. I think I helped her out with sleeves.
If not, you now have Mom's cell number,
right.
so text us.
Absolutely.
If she doesn't know, she'll text me, and I'll respond, and then she'll send it to you.
We'll figure this out. And the other thing I did this week, I signed up for a design class.
You did.
I did.
And did you also signed up for Knit Stars, didn't you?
I did, yes.
So,
I have yet to actually...
others should check out Knit Stars. I think Knit Stars 5, ends, the sale on it ends tonight. So check it out. But Knit Stars 5 is out soon, and they cut their prices pretty deeply.
They did.
For this next upcoming one, which has a lot of great teachers and a lot of great classes. So definitely check it out if you're ever interested in the Knit Stars programs.
There's a woman in England, I think her name is Claire Mountain. Mountain was her maiden name. And her website is Sister Mountain. And she has written a class in how to design a pattern, a knitting pattern. So... a sweater pattern in particular. So I signed up for it, and I've done the first module, which is basically reading and listening to what she had to say.
Good. And
then the next module, I think, is to design a drop shoulder sweater.
Okay.
And I have an idea for that, but I think the one idea I have would be really good for a kid's sweater.
Yes.
And then I need to think of one for an adult sweater. So I'm kind of excited about that because she's going to be talking about sizing and how to get the different sizes. I know that she works with an Excel spreadsheet so that once she makes one for her, then she can size up and down from there for her various patterns. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think it'll be really terrific. So... I've had a heck of a time ordering things online this week.
You really have.
I've been helping the economy.
You really have.
What would really put the cherry on the top would be getting those scissors.
We don't know about their
We have no idea about the quality.
We don't know about their quality, Mom.
We don't.
Not saying that Pro Soho would not have good quality scissors. It's just that
I would like to have them.
With fabric shears... you would like to know who they're manufactured by.
I would, because it helps give you an idea of how long they're going to keep their edge, and who do you send them to if you need to have them sharpened. Because unlike when I was a kid and the knife sharpener went around like once every 3 or 4 weeks, I can't tell you the last time I saw a knife sharpener.
Right, because now they sell the electric ones that you put on your counter and you do.
Yeah, and that's not really good for your scissors.
Not good for your scissors.
And I had one of those knife sharpeners. I don't even know what I did with it. I may have thrown it out.
I would not be shocked.
I like the
I know. You like the rod.
I do. So, anything else this week? So, anyway, let's talk about some of the patterns that we found in these books.
Okay.
So,
did you want to talk about first what you finished this week?
No, I'll have these in my hand.
Okay.
I'll talk about this now. Look at these cables. It's absolutely fantastic. So this is in a book called Rowan Cape Bay, which I thought was delightful because right south of Avalon and Stone Harbor is Cape May. And there's actually a delightful knitting store there that I have been in several times. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I love the play on the words. We have our newly recovered sofa, so I'm thinking about recovering some of our pillows, the pink ones. Your father is having fits over those pink ones.
They're so comfy, though.
Well, yeah, all they need is a new cover. They just don't need to be
having a fit because they don't go with the nice couch now.
Right, they don't.
But they're so comfy.
Look at that. I don't particularly care for that color combination. I mean, it is a University of Virginia color combination.
It is.
But
you could do a black and white and a gray.
You certainly could. You could put pink or any number of different colors in it. But I think the pattern itself, I think, is delightful. I like this for a kid, that striped sweater.
It's cute.
It's really very cute. Then let's see. Again, more pillows that I am interested in. Oops. Thank goodness for Post-it notes.
Yep.
Look at that cable.
Oh, it's
now,
so crunchy.
Richard is so hot he can't wear a sweater. But I don't see why you couldn't alter that with your own measurements to be able to make that
Or
for
just make
yourself.
it with your same chest measurements, and
Well, that's what
it'll
I'm
be
saying.
oversized instead. So you don't do the
I think
shaping,
I think
and
you
just
could
have
do
it as a boyfriend fit.
You could, or you could do the shaping
You
under
could
the
do
arms.
this shaping under the arms,
Because
but
I do not see cables under the arms.
no. But I'm just saying you could still get like a boyfriend fit sweater.
And that is another cable
very pretty.
deliciousness.
Yeah.
And then this, I see, is making a dress out of it.
Yes.
So make it into a pullover rather than a cardigan, and I think that would be stunning.
Yes.
It would
Keep
be,
the hood. It would be so cute.
It would be delightful. And then,
Yes.
so this is one that we both liked.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, we both liked a lot of them.
Look at that. I
Yeah.
think it's just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the book is the knitting instructions.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, there's more.
I actually kind of like the cover hat. It's kind of cute.
It is kind of cute. It almost looks like a Lily Pulitzer fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Rowan Island Blend Fine. Oh, and what Robin said was she called up the local knitting store and said, "What do you have?" And the woman brought out 10 books, magazines, and so she picked them out of that. Yes, please do support your local knitting store because
Definitely.
they're your neighbors.
Yeah.
And if we don't help support them, they're not going to be there. Anyway, I love the Palmyra. Talk about a boyfriend type sweater that's straight down.
It's such a sweatshirt sweater
It
that's
is.
just so lovely to have in your stash and like,
Just throw it on.
yeah.
Just absolutely throw it on. Where's the next one here? Here it is. Another cabled goodness pattern.
So lovely.
Just fantastic. And let's see. And I like this. And again, I might make this into a tunic. I'd close that front opening over and just make that into a tunic. It also has, doesn't have cables, it has lace in the
Yeah.
front. And I think that would be nice. Again, this is drop shoulder. So in terms of the sweater design, it's one of the easiest patterns to design since you don't really have to worry that much about the shoulder and sleeve construction, from what I gather. And that's the other thing I ordered. I ordered a book on sweater construction because it's kind of one of the books that underlays the class. So when I got this from Robin, I actually thought it was the book I had ordered. Then here's a lace
I like
front.
that. It's pretty.
Very pretty. I find that when you're doing that kind of lace, it keeps your interest.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really delightful. And this is more, but I think, would you call that a basket weave or it's
It's more of a
textured?
textural design.
And again, you could have it as a cardigan or you could make it into a tunic. And then this, Elizabeth says they look like hourglasses, and we've been watching a lot of Time Team.
Again,
Yes, I really am enjoying it. One, it's history, and it's finding out about how people lived in the long ago and the not so long ago. Because one of the trips they went down to Nevis, which is right by St. Kitts, and they were digging up a mansion from 1700. So not all that long ago. And honestly, a place that I don't think I saw this house, but I've seen some of the big old plantation houses that are down there. They had gone down because this place was going to be knocked down so that someone could make a hotel. And I think it's one of the high-end hotels that's down there now on Nevis. There's not that many hotels on Nevis, so look up Nevis, and the high-end hotel is where they were digging up this plantation house. And yet they can go back to the Paleolithic age. I'm finding it absolutely fascinating. So yes, doing a lot of that. Anything else happened this week?
what did you finish?
Well, yes, I finished.
As
Well,
we were discussing with
I
the art
finished
yarn.
as per the pattern my art yarn cardigan.
A non-beaded jacket.
And it's got a different pattern on the back, which actually gave me a different gauge. So I had fewer rows on the back than I did
wow.
on the front.
Wow.
Yeah, it just fell differently. But what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make a button band because this sweater has almost no structure whatsoever. And I think a button band would be very helpful.
Button band and collar, or just button band?
Well, I think a button,
okay.
a whole outline, I think would do it well. And come around and then do an actual a hem here. It seems to be, it's leaving fluff all over the place.
It's flinging fluff everywhere.
Yes. So I'm afraid that if that actually went through the washer, I'd be left with nylon threads. But I think it needs a little something for finishing on the edges. The pattern doesn't call for any finishing on the edges, but I think it needs it. So what I did sign up for, again, is the Harry Potter Knitting Crocheting Club, and it has just started up again as of May 1st. I have done my first class. So first, this is my detention, because I started it before May 1st. And then I have my first class, which is, yes, this is a smiley face. It's a washcloth, so it's nice, dishy, from, was it?
Is it dishy or Cotton?
Cotton, you're right. Mm-hmm. My watch is telling me my move goal. So anyway, I have a washcloth, and I'm planning on doing most of my classes in washcloths because I can use them on the boat, and that way Richard knows they're mine and not his, so no taking of my washcloth. So I've got a bunch of different colors over there. And I also, I had started this blanket square last week, and it was huge. It's only supposed to be 12 inches. Well, it had been 15 inches. So I took it out again today, and I restarted it. And I thought I could keep my place by just marking beside the row numbers here. I can't. I have to do the little hash marks. So I've taken it down again to where I know where I was, and I'm going to start back again making hash marks so that I can get through a whole 136 rows of this thing. And that'll be another class. Okay. And I don't have to do any more classes than that, or I could see if I can make washcloths that will fit some of the other classes. It would be nice. I didn't sign up for an OWL. For those of you who are familiar with the club, an OWL would be a 3-month
commitment,
2-month commitment. It's really 2 months. You can start at the beginning and turn it in somewhere right after the second month is done. Right. And since I've done all 12, I decided I didn't want to do that again. But there's a mission. So there's a Phoenix mission. Order the Phoenix mission, which is very loose. So all you have to do, they have various prompts, and you can decide which one of the prompts you want to craft to. And you just need to be able to use up 800 yards, basically. And there is a sweater, and I love these circle sweaters. I think they look really good they look good on my body. So there's a pattern called the Traveling Sweater, and it's the 10th anniversary. And I had the original pattern in my queue and in my library. And I had some yarn, gray flannel pajamas, something like that.
Just flannel pajamas.
Flannel pajamas that she had bought me several years ago.
From Dragonfly Fiber.
Yes, but we bought it at...
I special ordered that.
Oh, you did? Did we see it? But we saw it in the store.
You had seen it somewhere.
I had seen it down in Alexandria.
Oh, well, I know because I had asked you, because you were also really into Hedgehog and Woolmiza at the time. And this was 2 or 3 years ago for her birthday. Maybe even 5 years ago for your birthday. And I had asked her, or I had said I would order you a sweaters quantity. And I had offered to get her Woolmiza. And then she was like, well, I actually think I want this.
So I'm going to be using my flannel pajamas for this traveling sweater. And I'm very excited. I have already caked up one of the skeins. And I have enough. I mean, it says it could take up to 2,000 yards, and I have enough.
You do?
I do.
Oh, look at that. I got her enough yarn.
That was always the plan, to make another one of the big circle.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, anyway, I'm going to be working on that green square, hopefully finishing, if not tonight, then tomorrow.
Are you going to pick up that blue sweater again?
Yes, I am. The blue sweater is after I finish however many classes I want to finish.
Okay.
So I plan to do classes this week.
Okay. Until you get sick of it.
Until I get sick of it. But I've already turned in. You only have to do one class a month.
Right.
So I've already done the minimum. But I have so many colors, and there's such, there's washcloths. I love washcloths.
You know.
So, no, that's a peach. It's not a yellow. Anyway, back to this. I'll see how many of the classes I want to do this week. And then I will go back to work on that blue sweater. And I want to finish or just get as far as I can on the blue sweater before May 23rd, when the broom can be started. The broom is the mission for the Order of the Phoenix. Because I think that's going to take quite a bit.
I think so. I mean, your
sweater.
The cocoon sweater took you a full, I think, 3 months.
It took quite a while, yes. But I was slower then.
True.
Yes.
True.
So, what have you been working on since you've been so busy?
I have. So I'm trying to finish up the return row on the Quadrat, which this weekend I got to the point of closing the neck, and I have under 20 rows to go until I bind off the sides of the body.
Okay.
For the other side, because remember that this is knit from cuff to cuff across your body.
Okay.
Across your body. So I am currently dealing with all of the body stitches up and over the neck or shoulders right now.
Mm-hmm.
I will be able to kind of show you in just a minute once I finish the row.
Okay.
I really haven't been working on anything else. I finished, though, my secret crop by Jessie Maed. I made the straps to be 15 inches. I still have not woven in ends. I should do that today or tomorrow. I've also worn it a number of times. It is very comfortable.
Nice.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it, knitting it. I really enjoy wearing it. I'm really glad that I did it. I do think I want to make the ripple butt shorts and the ripple crop set, because I think it'd be really cute. But I really haven't been knitting on anything else. I have not touched my Vellichor, because I've been trying to get the Quadrat done. I was getting the secret crop done, and oh my god, I left my project bag downstairs. The big project bag I made. I'm gonna have to go and get that, because that was a piece of work. I'll be right back, y'all.
So we've been very busy this weekend. I really wanted to finish that art yarn sweater because the fluff was getting to me, and when I had finally gotten halfway down the back, all I could do was try to figure out how I can power through this thing. I hope I'm going to enjoy wearing it. I mean, that is one of my concerns, since the fluff is it's breathing it out. So keeping my fingers crossed on that. The blue sweater I think will be lovely. All right.
So I made a Finch bag that I believe I talked to you all about last week. And I made the largest size. I used actually a pair of old jeans for the bottom panel. And then I think old sheets for the lining. So I've been sewing a bunch. I also found some paper piecing patterns that I was doing.
Oh, wow.
It's a Hogwarts crest, and I did the Ravenclaw eagle and the Hufflepuff badger.
Oh, how nice.
And I think I'm going to make them into the, like, pennant kind of shape and back them, and maybe make them into coasters.
Oh, nice.
But I have a Gryffindor and a Slytherin still to finish, and then I will make that decision. So those are things I've been working on. I also made the top I'm wearing. So this is a wrap top. Can't tell, but it wraps to about here.
Yes.
So I have it pinned where I'm going to put some snaps, and then I made a very large tie with...
I like it. I think it's quite cute.
It's very cute. So actually, this is based on a Mood Fabrics blog post that said that she was inspired to make a wrap top, but based off of a wrap dress from a vintage Butterick pattern. So what did I do? I went and found the vintage Butterick pattern because, of course, we have a copy of it. And I just took the bodice and patterned out the bodice and did that because...
Go to the original.
Yeah, well, and also...
Oh, the other thing I did was I bought that silk thread.
Oh, yes.
For hand sewing. Yeah.
And so that was a lot because she provided a lot of the dimensions and things of how she did her, interpretation of the top. But
Butterick will give you more specific details.
Exactly. And
even better, if you can find it in a Vogue pattern. Vogue goes step by step by step.
Oh, yeah. No, the instructions were like... The instructions for this pattern were... I think it was sew darts. Okay. Sew together at armholes and side, or sew together at armholes.
Oh my God.
Or at, shoulders. Finish neck and side seams.
But that was
Hem.
from Mood.
No.
Oh,
from Butterick.
Really?
This is like,
That's strange.
I mean, you can take a look at it, because I was like, this is not a lot of,
it's one of the reasons why I like working with Vogue patterns, because they really do step by step.
Mind you.
They do a lot of, if there's a tailoring that would be called for, that would make it optimal, they go into great detail. So I have done pad stitching in a jacket, and it does make a difference.
I mean, I do have to say, the Butterick pattern, the wrap that this is based on, is very simple. Okay. It's a very large piece for the front, because it goes down and becomes the front of the dress, and then you add snaps or button and loops along the sides to hold the front into the back, and then the back comes around, and here you would add a giant,
tie?
3/4 circle skirt.
Okay.
That comes around with this, so that you have the little bit of the front piece skirt showing, as well as the wrap around. So here's the Quadrat. So now I can actually put it on and show you. So that
is gorgeous.
Is how, and it's going to be, sewn up. But once I finish it and I bind it off, I am going to block this and then determine whether or not there needs to be an extra panel put here at the side. When I just stabbed myself on the pin holding my shirt together.
We draw more blood sewing.
But I'm not bleeding. That's good.
Oh, that's excellent.
I have made myself bleed many a time this week due to sewing. But this is a beautiful pattern. It's very well written. It's found in Knitty. And I really love it.
Good.
But I do think I might have to add a panel under my arm because I don't believe my row gauge is matching the pattern. I don't know.
I see. And it's knit sideways.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have about 18 more rows until I bind off to then create the sleeve for the other side. And I'm pretty ecstatic about that. So I made this top, as I said, and I have all this other fabric, and I wanted to talk to Mom and with you all on camera about if I should try a different wrap top, more of kind of a traditional one over the other, to see if that could work, or if we think that this style would work with these fabrics. So I've got
I think this fits you well.
I do too.
Oh, I like that.
Do we think that would look good in this with the
I do,
the wrap?
yes, I do.
All right, then I guess I'm doing it. No, because I also really love this fabric. I might.
And that's cotton.
It is, but I might actually make it double layer with a muslin that we have, because it is quite thin. Like you can see the screen through it.
Yes.
But it's so beautiful. The print is just so beautiful that if I back it with a white fabric, that won't be a problem. And then I won't have to do all of the stuff I did with the bias tape on the side seams. I've learned how to use bias tape, y'all. I'm a convert. This is amazing.
You texted me, do we have any bias tape?
Oh my God. Y'all, my mother has been hoarding all of the freaking bias tape and all of the zippers.
All the zippers.
I'm going to take we have 2-pound Hala Ziploc bags. I've categorized all of the bias tape, seam binding, seam covering, the lace seam covering, because you have the seam tape, which is more like bias tape. It's soft. Mm-hmm. Then you have the seam covering, which is not so soft. That's the lace. Tape. Oh, the hem tape. Then we have piping. You have some piping. Yes.
Zippers.
No, there's more. You have fold-over elastic.
Do I?
Yes. I showed you. Oh, you don't remember from last. You had a migraine last night. And there's one other thing and then I've categorized the zippers. The zippers so far have been categorized as the ones that have packages. I'm gonna have to. We have to post a picture of the organization on the floor. It's
you can do that on Instagram.
I will, because we have over 20 inches. We have, I think I have it 10 to 20 inches, and then we have 9s and 7s. Set out.
Those
and then less than 7
would be for skirts.
Right. And I want to keep those separate because we have a lot of those. And
some 7s, at one point I was making the really tight pants.
Mm-hmm. The cigarette pants?
Yes. And I had a pattern that called for zippers down at the ankle.
Oh.
Yes. So I would have had 7-inch zippers for those.
Well, she has a ton. And she has all of the colors. And I found a whole bag of unmarked zippers. We have no idea what sizes these are, so that's why I'm going to categorize them.
I'll have you know.
They're great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them except for the fact that we don't know how long they are. So I will be measuring them tonight and categorizing them.
We have make a zipper.
Oh, and then we have 4 things of make a zipper. 4. 3 white, 1 black.
Yes. Well, because I already used up one of the blacks.
I didn't realize we had all this, y'all.
I like using make a zipper because
it's
then
great.
You don't have to know how long you need in advance, and you just.
Oh, then we have a bag of the invisible zippers, which are the to not be used ever because they're dumb.
Yeah, I don't like invisible zippers.
Sorry, they get caught on everything.
So with the make a zipper, you have and it's on the 2 tapes, and it's on a roll, and a lot of the zipper heads. Mm-hmm. And you sew across the top so your zipper head doesn't come off, and then you measure out how much you need,
and you move the rest of the zipper heads
back down this way, and then you zigzag across the bottom here so it's not going to come off the bottom, and then you apply it to the dress or the pants or the skirt or whatever, and it fits.
It's pretty funny. So other fabric I have in probably similar amounts is this.
I think that might be nice with one of the
with
regular.
a regular wrap top. I might try and pattern that out and figure that out. So then this, I think, is gorgeous, and I think I would like to do it in something like what I'm wearing, but I think I need plain black fabric to do the back and the wraparound. Because I think that would be so pretty as, like, the front, you know, and then have it black, because then it won't overwhelm.
I like that.
So I think I might do that. See if we have any black fabric downstairs.
I don't know.
And then this.
Oh, that's pretty.
Could be lovely in this style.
Yes.
I think that'll work. And then, last but not least, is this lovely kind of abstract cherry blossom-y kind of
very nice
print, which I think could work in this.
I think it could too.
I think the only one that doesn't really work in this wraparound style
is that block pattern.
Is the block pattern. I might have to use for some of them ribbons instead of the actual fabric for the ties, because I did have more of this fabric than some of the others. But I'm really glad I chose this to be the first one, because it's, I think, really wearable.
I think it looks really good.
So I've been working on this. I also have made a muslin of my Winslow culottes without a zipper. And these fit, and they're great. And I washed the fabric for the wearable muslin yesterday, so I might cut those today, tomorrow. We'll see. But I'd rather cut them here, and then I can sew them at the apartment, because they only need straight seams.
Okay.
But it's really nice not to have to kneel on the floor to cut fabric here.
Dining room table.
The dining room table is great. So these are awesome. I think I will make them probably 2 or 3 inches longer so that we can hem them. Because right now, at the standard longest length, it hits the top of my foot. So they would be short with any sort of shoes besides Converse.
Right.
And even then, it might be a little short. So I do think I need to extend them, which is fine. I am a tall person. And then I have my wearable muslin of my Belladonna dress.
All right.
Which
That's pretty.
It is. It's so pretty. It has pockets.
Now, do you know where you got that fabric?
I think it's one that you rejected a few weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I have to put the back zipper in, and then do the back seam.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will do the neckline. And then I think I have the hem facing. It has a hem facing or a skirt facing at the hem instead of a hem. So I think once I try it on, and once I put on the neckline, then I try it on, and we determine if it needs to be any shorter, because it does hit me pretty much right at the knee.
Okay.
So it might need to be just an inch shorter.
Okay.
But we'll take a look. But I'm really pleased. This pattern is by Deer and
Doe. Then you just run a hem rather than hem tape.
Right, but I've already cut the facing for it.
Oh.
I mean, whatever. We'll figure it out. But the pattern's by Deer and Doe, and it's really lovely. I actually really like the way that they do their patterns. I have another one of their patterns that I'm thinking about working through in the next few weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been working on that, and then I've been working on my Knitalong.
Okay.
This is from 2019, 2018, 2017. So I finished it up until you get to the personalization. And that, I'm going to say, as for me and my house, we shall serve Cthulhu. So I might work on that a little tonight. I've been working on this, or I worked on this on Friday because my wrist was hurting me when I came to the house instead of knitting. But the Jessie. I know I've talked about it multiple times over the last few years. They're doing something a little different this year.
Uh-huh.
It's called the Jessie Alone, because we are all alone.
Right.
And instead of it being a mystery, they've revealed the pattern.
Oh, really? What is it?
It's one of their, like, first patterns they ever did.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on House, the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Files.
Meanwhile, my cross-stitch has not come.
Oh.
I did get a note saying that it should arrive, one of them should arrive this coming week. So, that's good.
So, it's, let me see if I can find the original. So, it's not this exact pattern, but it is a gradient of this, so it's all monotone, and it's House from the show, and it says, bless this house. And you're supposed to pick a palette that's a gradient of 6 shades of a color, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to release it over the next 7 weeks.
Okay.
And I'm thinking of doing it in some grays. I think it'll be fun to do. Also, because we get to know what it is. And I think it'd
mystery
be funny.
thing doesn't bother you. That doesn't, you don't like it.
I don't know. I don't mind it. I was a little upset about it being Golden Girls last year, and it was huge. Like, the pattern was huge and very intricate. And I'm not a huge Golden Girls fan. And it just felt like a lot of time for me to put into it when I'm not super into it. Yeah. So things like, 2017, they had a phrase. 2018, they had a phrase, which I'm also going to try and finish soon. And then so that I can get some more projects done. Mm-hmm. But this year, I think it'll be a lot of fun to do. It's another phrase, but I also used to watch House a lot in high school.
Yes.
So I think it'll be fun just to have that little, like, throwback kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. As I said, I kind of fell down on my face this week in terms of the Vellichor. I did not work on that.
Well, you did so much sewing.
I did a lot of sewing, y'all. It's been actually really nice to kind of get that instant gratification.
There is instant gratification, yes.
Yeah, it's really nice, and I mean, I said it on the phone yesterday, but it's really nice, even though I know that I can do this, to actually do it and have it work.
Yes, yeah. But it's the same gratification you get from a sweater or anything else, that it fits after you've done your sweater math and all of that, to know that it fits when you're done. Yeah. So it's like, I made those sleeves extra long. Right. But we don't know how it's going to drape once it's blocked and washed and all that kind of stuff. And the pattern was such that you either did it 2 or you did it 3. You could, doing it in between just wasn't going to work because it's got those intersecting triangles. So I'm glad I made it longer. As we can see that I had plenty of yarn.
And we still have one more skein of it somewhere.
Someplace. Not that I'm going to use it, but
it's somewhere.
The mohair or something is going all over the place.
But yeah, I'm still so pleased with this top.
I have to say that with the art yarn, we were watching...
Making the Cut?
No, we were watching the knitting people. The
Fruity Knitting?
Fruity Knitting. And she makes a lot of the Norse type of pattern, Scandinavian type of patterns, using a slightly toothier
Yes.
yarn. And one of the things she was talking about today is how it doesn't pill. And so she has several sweaters. In fact, she was saying that in the time that they have done their show or their podcast, which has been, I think, about 3 or 4 years, something like that, she's made 25 sweaters. And they're all with this slightly toothier yarn, and they look as good as they did when she made them. Whereas if you have this floatier yarn or softer yarn, it can wear through.
I mean, I can see that. It's also a bit of a preference, because she says, she doesn't wear her sweaters next to her skin.
No, but then
so
I don't either.
You don't either. I do. I don't.
You don't wear something underneath? I couldn't
wear
wear a sweater
I wear
like that.
I mean, I wear foundational garments, as the knitmores say, but I don't typically wear, like, a camisole or anything else under. I get either too warm or it's just too many layers for me
I would
a lot
be freezing.
of the time.
It wouldn't matter, even though I had the sweater on, I would be freezing if I didn't do it.
That might be why I wear shawls more, too.
That may be. That may answer that question.
And hats. I do wear more hats than you do.
Yes. Yes. No, I generally have a silk something, camisole or something. Yeah. So I could wear a toothier yarn.
Right. But also some people have trouble with toothier yarns in general. I mean, I know I have some sweaters that are toothier, and I do wear things under them. But I also know that I've found that my skin not necessarily breaks out, but is a bit irritated sometimes with the toothier yarns. So you have to be careful. Not saying that it's not worth it to knit out of the merino and the superwash and all of that. It's just
I just thought it was interesting that she didn't have any pilling whatsoever, and she washes them in the washing machine.
I think it's also more probably, we've taken a lot of classes with, like, Clara Parks and Franklin Habit and others who have very strong feelings about pilling. And it's a lot about the ply more than the fiber, from at least what we've heard in those classes.
That's true.
So if it's a more plied,
denser
ply, or even a woolen spun versus a
worsted versus
woolen, things like that really affect it.
And, at one point, and she buys a lot of, I wouldn't say she buys a lot of kits, but a fair amount of her sweaters are kits, and that the woman who designed the pattern has designed it for a specific wool. And I don't know, at some point it might be interesting to try that. We'll see. I don't have the toothier yarns.
I'm just saying.
I don't have the toothier yarns.
Just saying.
I don't have the
I'm
Scandinavian.
Just saying.
I don't have the Scandinavian
You don't.
yarns.
Oh. And yet you keep telling me you're thinking about downsizing.
No, we found out through this coronavirus thing that this size house is what we need.
Or slightly larger, yes.
Just in a slightly different location. Yes, Robin asked me, so you're going to be moving? I went, not while the coronavirus is on, because I don't want people trooping through my house looking at it, and I don't need to be trooping through anybody else's house. And we don't have to move. So it's really at our own instigation.
Yeah.
So it may be another year or two before we start looking at houses again.
Yeah.
Or we may stay in this house and just buy another boat. Because if I'm on a boat, I don't have to look at...
I know.
Here.
I know. But yeah, so that's what we've been working on. I've got my sewing mojo, which means apparently I go into a zone of hyperfocus, which is kind of hilarious.
It is. It's like binge watching.
It is.
You're binge sewing.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying having the option to both sew at the apartment and here. I don't particularly want to take my big machine to the apartment because I don't know if I trust that table. if that makes sense.
The dining room table?
Yeah, my table at the apartment.
Mm.
It, like, wiggles.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also because my big machine, which isn't all that big, but it's bigger than the featherweight.
Well, almost anything's bigger than the featherweight.
Takes up, obviously, more room, and so I
Yes.
would just be a little bit more concerned about...
Tripping over it?
Kind of.
Well, I could see that.
I'm doing very well with having, my set, places for things.
Uh-huh.
But I have offered, once Mom decides she wants to get her sewing mojo back, to cut all of her things, which we all know
Well,
is our...
I wanted to get that one done, and now we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Now that I finished that sweater, got that whip out of the way, the underneath the desk is looking rather cleaner. So we'll see.
It is.
We'll see.
It is. But yeah, so I think we're about to start waffling.
We don't want to do
So
that.
I think we should call it...
We're going to weave in ends, do placement of snaps.
Yes,
And we'll
so I can
see you
stop
next
stabbing
week.
myself with my own outfit.
Bye.
Bye, y'all!